Hey folks, welcome back to Urban Farm Utopia. Today we're taking a little field trip to the family homestead. We're going to be stringing up our Cascade hops for home-brewed beer. Hope you enjoy it. Hops are a perennial crop, and they start from a little tiny rhizome. They come in a cutting, they're clonally propagated, and your first 2 years, they're not really going to produce many flowers. First year is really just establishing the root system. Second year, they're really getting going. By the third year, you're going to start getting flowers. So this is a 2-year-old crop. It's going into its third season. This is its first production season, and you can see where it's kind of climbed it from last year. We're going to take this string down, restring them, give it plenty of room for the tall climbers to climb. You ever go to a commercial hop farm operation, you'll see them, they drive out with these gigantic boom trucks and they'll have teams of guys tying off strings and running the runners down for the hops. But our homesteading solution, we've just built a pendulum swinging operation here. So we built a basic post into the ground, screw in a tall runner piece, leave one screw in that allows it to seesaw down. And then at the top here, we're just running some basic stainless steel eye bolts to run our top line through. So we'll run our top line through these, and then tie off our runners down while the runners are on the ground. We'll tie them down horizontally, put them back up, and tie it down, tighten the top string, and you're good to go. Right, so we've got our top line strung, and you don't want to tie it off at this point. You're going to need some slack in the line as you bring the posts back up, but you do want to kind of pull it tight so that you get proper spacing with your horizontal lines, which form your runners, which we're going to do next. Alright, so for our top lines and our runners, you can use any type of basic line, but I've found nylon line works the best, and the reason for that is hops themselves are a really acidic plant. They have a mild acid that they secrete. You can actually feel it when you work with them for a while. You'll start to feel your fingers tingle. And acidity is why we add it to beer in the first place. It takes down the sweetness of the malt and it kind of rounds out the flavors. So a synthetic fiber like nylon is best. I find things like jute rope generally kind of rot out before the end of the season and your hops will fall down. So a nylon or a synthetic fiber is best. All right, for the horizontal runners, I'm just going to tie off with a basic square knot, and that'll allow the runners to kind of move up and down the string as they need to. The plants will basically grow in whatever direction you have them to go, but they'll get really tall. I mean, they'll grow all the way up this runner and then probably kind of down the horizontal thing. 20, 25, 30 feet high is a healthy hop. So definitely want to have these runners up with enough room to grow so you get a good harvest. All right, we got everything tied up. We're ready to go ahead and lift our posts back up and go ahead and tighten our top line. Vertical again, we're ready to go ahead and tighten up our top line. And again, I just kind of leave it loose to run through this eye bolt. You pull the line tight across the top. It'll go all the way down your line, pull everything taut, Make it nice and tight, and then begin to tie off. Alright folks, we've reached the point where we're ready to tie off our hops and tie off our vine lines for the runners for the vines. Now, they actually make a hop vine stake you can use, but I find that just an old metal coat hanger cut in half and then bent in a U shape works perfectly. And we'll just take our excess line that comes off of the runners and kind of loop it around here a couple times. Get to the right height, and then stake in for our hops. Now, a hop is going to send out a whole bunch it's a climbing vine, so when it first starts out in the season, it sends out a whole bunch of vines looking for something to climb. And then once it finds something, that'll become the primary vine. The other ones will kind of abandon away. But we're going to accelerate that process and prune off the ones that we don't select, because that'll allow the plant to keep its energy and focus into growing into the primary vines. It'll give us a better harvest when it comes time to harvesting the hops. So I'm just going to start training these clockwise. Hops run clockwise up a string. Pick a couple healthy looking ones. You don't have to pick the longest one, but kind of gives it a head start. As long as it's healthy, you want to make sure that you don't take off the top of the vine though. If you break the vine or you clip off the top, go ahead and choose another one, because it'll have to kind of restart from that vine from where you cut it. And then all the others we'll just kind of trim away to help the plant conserve energy and put it into that primary growth. Now you're going to have to trim your hops several times throughout the season. This is not a one-time thing, but it gets them started, and then from there it's just maintenance.